Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome to episode 9, I See You, of Give It a Year with me, Jenny Q. Give It a Year is my podcast diary where I invite you to come and spend some time with me every week to see what I have either written, created, or what I have to say on different topics, or just a commentary or a reflection on my own personal journey of reaching two very important goals. And tonight's episode is definitely in the venue of a reflection and a commentary. But before I get to that, I want to share my 4 podcast promises that I share at the top of every episode, so you can have a better idea of what this is all about and the format of how this goes. So podcast promise number 1, I will be here every week. I'm here once a week to share my podcast diary entry with you. Promise number 2, all of my content is original. It's not to say that I won't quote someone or reference someone else, another artist, another author, another person, another leader of some sort of other or whatever. But the content, the primary content will be mine. Podcast number 3, positive. There will always be a positive spin. I may talk about or discuss something maybe a little dark, like tonight, Remembrance Day a little bit, or it could be, politics or something, but I'll always find a positive spin, because that is part of my goal of this podcast, is to create a cyberspace that is positive, that is welcoming, and that has no expectation on you other than to be here and listen. And that's it. And podcast promise number 4, I will always leave you with a question or something to ponder. And if you've been here before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, just wait till the end and that'll make a lot more sense. I do try to keep these fairly short. I like to try and keep my episodes less than half an hour. I've been doing pretty good. But tonight's episode I can feel will be a little bit longer. So let's begin. And as I said, today's episode obviously has been inspired by the fact that it is November 11th, Remembrance Day. And so where do I want to start with that? So Remembrance Day. Last week, I'm going to digress a little bit. Last week I shared with all of you how, when I was doing my review, that part of what distracts me right now from the focus of my goals is the politics in Canada / US, North America. And it has been very distracting with a lot of stuff between our parties, between the Liberals and the Conservatives, and this, that, and the other. But this last week in particular, I have noticed several videos and shorts and things on social media of different veterans leading up to today, which is Remembrance Day. And there's one video in particular that really caught my attention and made me think. And it was an older veteran from World War II, and he's in England, and he basically expressed a sadness and like an upset at how the world is going, and how democracy seems to be on the battlefield again, and how he expressed that, oh, you know what, I just realized the music still in the background. I want to take it out. Sorry, I always need to take it out at the end of my intro. It's meant to be for intro and extra. I'm still learning the podcast thing. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So this veteran, he basically was sharing that what he fought for, the battle for democracy and freedom and for the way of life that he and his friends and his allies fought for, seems to be slipping away. And you could just see he was very sad. And I will come back to that kind of in a second. And I understand, I can appreciate why he would feel that way. There's a lot of bizarre things. I saw a thing saying that we should not wear poppies today because of something or other. I didn't really pay attention because I disagree with that completely. I think poppies are a very important part of Remembrance Day, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So today, I was at work. I am a developmental services worker, and where I work is in a house. And I was at work today with my shift partner, and we are next door to a school. And at 11 o'clock, she and I had agreed that at 11 o'clock, as we always do on every November 11th, we would take a moment to give a moment of silence and a tribute to those that have fought for the life that we live. And we listened to the Reveille on the radio, and it was very moving. But during that whole process, next door, we looked out the window, and the children were outside having recess, having playtime, at 11 o'clock. And when the moment of silence was over and our time to give tribute was done, she and I commentated or talked about how upsetting that was actually to us, because when we were kids, when we were growing up, you would be in the school in an assembly at 11 o'clock. You would be taught about the stories and the sacrifice. You would be taught about what it means to wear a poppy. You would know what it means to remember, and specifically remember those who fought for our way of life, for how we were living. So that was my distraction. So where I'm going with all this is, through the day, it still sat with me. I was a little unsettled, and it crossed my mind, is it possible that the veterans and everything they fought for, could be forgotten? Could the battles, the stories, the heroes, the bravery, the darkness, the death, and the sadness, and the importance of that period of our history, could that be forgotten? And I think it's a possibility. Not because it's not important, but for several reasons. One, there's history in all sorts of other countries that I don't even know about. And so then I contemplated, and I'm like, well, how does something like that stay alive? And I thought about the fact that it's through assemblies and through ceremonies and through tributes. And I thought, wow, if those get stopped, or they're not carried out the same, or we're not teaching our children to have reverence for our past, or to appreciate where we came from, it can be lost. And just a simple act of not having an assembly at 11 o'clock and following traditions and that sort of thing. So I, of course, as I always do, I find ways in my mind to somehow, connect this to myself. And so I was thinking a lot about witnesses, being a witness, having a witness, and what that means to Remembrance Day. And I am going to shift now and discuss sort of my own thoughts in a very diary format about what my thoughts were about my own life, because this is my diary, and as I have a complete respect for Remembrance Day, but this episode isn't specifically about Remembrance Day, but Remembrance Day was very important in leading me to what I want to share today, which is the meat, which is what I'm jumping into now. And so what I have recently realized is that I have had so the question about being forgotten, right? This is what had me jump through. I could not articulate this without doing all the work and seeing the counselors and doing all the work I've done over the last 10, 15 years of my life. But most of my adult life, I realized that I've had a very huge fear of being forgotten and feeling invisible in this life. And I think I finally figured out why. So let me just repeat that from the time in my early 30s to now, when I'm 52, so for about 20 years, I didn't have witnesses to my story, and I felt lost. And before I explain that a little more in depth, I'm going to explain to you my definition of what a witness is. A witness is that person or those people or that community who are your constant. They are your safe place. They are sincere. They are the place or the people who love you absolutely unconditionally. They back you. And this, they say this is your truth. And I see you. I see you. And it's a place where you know you can go back if you're having a tough day, or if you want to celebrate, or you want to share something. These are your witnesses, right? And sometimes you do have to go through life without your witnesses. And this is going to be a little bit messy back and forth, but just so you appreciate where I'm coming from. So in 2006, my mother passed away. She had cancer. And that was after a long run of losing my father, my aunt, my brother-in-law, within a 5-year period. And since then, in my life, the people who you would assume would be my witnesses, my family and my friends, they all kind of disappeared. My brother has chosen not to be active in my life. And there's no animosity. I'm not mad. He's not mad. It's just how it is. We're just not part of each other's life. My sister, she is a witness in my life, but she's got a lot going on in her life too. So it's not quite the witnessing that I was seeking, but she does her best. And I do my best to be her witness, but we have family things, which I'm not going to get into because they're private, but it makes it hard sometimes to be someone's witness when there's the history and some other stuff going on, right? So anyway, let me get back to this. So for a long time, I had no witnesses that really stayed in my life, but I was constantly seeking that, and I didn't even realize that's what I was seeking. So I explored a lot of workshops. I explored personal development. I explored network marketing. I saw counselors. I saw grief counselors. I did therapy. And I did all of these wonderful things, and I met amazing people and lots of people who have impacted my life, both in a positive and negative way. I was married, and that whole chapter of my life disappeared, and it went away, and I thought it was going to be around for my lifetime, and it's not. And so I just felt like I kept losing witnesses. I lost a best friend to cancer. I lost another really close and dear friend to an overdose. I lost family and friends who moved far away. I have lots of family at West, but I don't really know them. I have one of my closest friends who lives in Australia. I have another friend who doesn't live that far from me. They live in Barrie. I live in Fergus, and it's not that far. But even with technology, sometimes if you're not right there, it's hard to maintain that, Anyway, so I have spent a lot of my time seeking that. And because I was struggling with my own grief and my own depression, and I didn't have a witness, I didn't have someone to bounce ideas off of, I didn't have that constant in my life, I concluded that I had no one. I didn't know it was a witness I was looking for, but I didn't have anyone, and I justified it or explained it. It was because I was doing something wrong, or there was something wrong with me. And there was no one around to sort of counter that. So I believed that for a long time. And it was a tough period in my life. And so as I explained, your witness is your person, your people who, it's your safe place. And I think I'm sorry, I'm pausing because I have so much I want to say, and I want to do it in a very efficient time. And I don't want to, hog all of your time tonight, but this was just something I wanted to get out about remembrance and that kind of thing. I'm not sure that I'm doing as good a job as I want to. So I guess I'll jump ahead and I will talk about my theory and how it's connected to Remembrance Day and how it's connected to the veterans I saw, that one veteran and the children next door and all that. And my theory is this, and this is not a documented theory. This is just me putting this out there in my diary, my podcast diary, to share with you to contemplate. And here's my theory. We all need to be seen. To be seen means we must have witnesses. And without a witness, none of us will be remembered. It's like how they say, a unicorn is only as real as however many people see that unicorn. Meaning, if one person says they see a unicorn, they could be laughed at. But if you had a whole village of people saying, no, I saw a unicorn, it was beautiful, it was white, it had a golden horn, and, then it bears a ring of truth and it gets carried through. And I believe that's true of everyone's story. And the good news is, the very, very good news is that there are over 8 billion people, humans, on this earth. And so that's a lot of people. And that's a lot of opportunities to be a witness for someone else or to be witnessed and to be seen. Now, how does this work? How do I think this works? Well, the catch is you have to be open and vulnerable, and you have to be ready to be someone's witness in order to be witnessed. It's not a one-way street. And so what that means is you have to be someone else's constant. But the thing is, it's not a have-to thing. It's an automatic thing. It's an organic thing. When you find someone you connect with, like a cousin or your parent or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner or a best friend or a mentor even, your witness is that person that you're there. It's, and I think for me, I'm going to digress a little. For me, my struggle is I thought my witness had to be constant in that it had to be the same person. And I've had several people in my life be witnesses to me. I've had wonderful mentors. But because there were gaps and I lost so many people in between, I didn't think I had that. Like I figured out that everyone needed to be seen, but I didn't feel I was being seen. And I didn't quite understand that being seen means being present with someone. And I finally have one of the most incredible witnesses to my life, and that's my boyfriend. His name's Chris. He's amazing. He is my constant. He is there in good times and bad. He challenges me. He listens to me. He offers me advice. He hugs me. He helps me. And I do the same for him. Like I said, it's not a one-way street. And I guess the thing as an artist or as a human, I keep trying to find ways to share with people and to show people that everybody matters. I have had so many people in my life who have struggled with depression and anxiety and all sorts of things. And they're like, I feel invisible and I don't matter and I'm not connected to anyone or anything. And then they isolate and they hide. And I did that. I did that too. And the crazy thing is to have a witness and to feel that connection. And it's connection. I don't think I've said that yet. To have a witness is also to have a connection. And that's a very human thing, I think, is you need to feel connected. Don't have to be connected worldwide, but you do thrive better in this world and enjoy life much more if you have a connection. It could be with one person. It could be with a family. It could be with a group. It could be with a church. It could be with a sports team. But people need connection. And connection means being seen. And being seen means you need people around. So, that is the catch. But the good news is, like I said, there's 8 billion humans on the planet. So there's lots of opportunities for that. And I think the other component that is important about a witness is that there needs to be a positivity to it. And they all be there to witness the hard stuff and the dark stuff. But the thing is, they're the ones who are there that will hold your hand or lay with you, or make you a meal when you can't make your own, or make you a tea or a coffee or whatever, right? I feel like I'm trying to make this super simplistic, and honestly, I think it really is that simple, but a lot of us make it super complicated. So before I end this up, I always like to leave two questions. A question or two questions. So I'm going to remind you of what my theory is, and then the questions. Okay? Here we go. So, my theory, of course, again is, we all need to be seen. And to be seen means we must have a witness or witnesses. Without those witnesses, none of us will be remembered. Because the witnesses carry your story, they share your story. So, question number 1. Who is your witness or witnesses? And when I ask you these things, I'm not asking for you to send them back to me. This is just for you to take away. So think about that. Who is your witness? Which leads to question number 2 is, who are you a witness for? Who are you there for? Who are you a constant for? Who do you love unconditionally? And who loves you unconditionally? Very important. So I am going to slowly wrap this up and then bring the music back. I really like this music today. See if I can do it. There it is. I'm not very smooth at that yet, but I'll get there. So, as always, I have my 3-line, I don't even know what to call it. And when I thought about it, and I thought about the theme of remembrance today, I think this is why this is so strong for me and why I share it at the end of every episode. Because there are 3 things we can all do to be a witness and to be witnessed. You can share your smile, you can share your love, you can share your laughter. You can share your smile as you listen to someone, or you can share your smile as you share your story. You can share your love as you listen, as you hold hands with someone, as you support them, help them, listen to them, walk with them, hug with them, draw them a bath. And you can share your love by being open and honest and vulnerable. You can share your laughter through stories, through jokes. And laughter to me really is the best medicine. So, I think that's pretty awesome. And I guess I'll wrap that up here, guys. Guys and gals, I'm sure there's a few women out there who are listening to me too, and men, ladies, boys and girls. I guess I'm torn between the enhanced negativity and toxicity of what's going on in our political scene right now, and how I feel Remembrance Day this year maybe was not given the same level of respect as I feel it has most of my life. And I also think perhaps with a lot of stuff going on in the world, we have a lot of people who don't feel seen, who don't have witnesses, and people who don't feel like if they reached out or offered to help someone that it would even matter. Well, I want to finish off today by saying it matters. It matters. We all matter. And I don't want anyone to ever underestimate the value of their smile, of their love, and of their laughter. Know that you impact someone's life very much, and someone else impacts your life very much. I could go on forever with this, but I want to wrap this up because, like I said, I don't want to make this too long. And so I will finish by saying thank you. If you're still sitting here listening to me ramble on, I appreciate you, and I thank you for being my witness to this episode of Give It a Year. See you next week.